Hello and welcome to my video on how to rehab an acute hamstring injury strain. My name is Daniel Mola and I study sports and exercise science at the University of Essex. Now, to maximise rehabilitation and reduce the chance of re-injury, it is important to build muscle strength and muscle endurance in the injured limb. Now, studies have shown up to 60% deficit in knee flexion strength when comparing injured limb to the non-injured limb, and there have been reports of strength imbalances appearing to be a modifiable risk factor when considering re-injury. So Hickey et al. Conducted a study between a pain threshold and a pain-free group in a randomised controlled trial. 43 male Australian footballers were split into two groups, the pain-free group and the pain threshold group. Now, the pain-free group could only perform exercises and move on to the next phase when no pain was experienced. However, the pain threshold group could perform and advance through stages when a pain of 4 or less was experienced on a scale of 1 to 10. Various variables were measured to determine which group produced the most benefits, and both groups completed the same exercises in their rehab plan, with 3 hamstring exercises, 3 sets for each exercise with various rep ranges. These exercises included sliders, hip extensions, and also glute bridges. Players were cleared for return to play when there was no pain or palpitation, during active knee movements, which is extension and flexion, during maximal contraction efforts, and also during the sprint. So the results of this study revealed isometric knee flexion strength improved for both groups. But at 90 degrees hip flexion and knee flexion, strength was greater in the pain threshold group when measured at return to play and also 2 months after the intervention. So within this study, authors managed to conclude that performing a rehabilitation with pain threshold didn't actually speed up return to play. However, isometric knee flexion strength did increase. So that could show that conventional use of pain avoidance during hamstring rehabilitation may not actually be necessary. Based on this study, we will be performing and progressing our rehab plan using that pain threshold. So any pain experience of a 4 and below will allow us to move on to the next phase. So our rehab plan will consist of 3 phases and 3 exercises. For that early phase, we'll be using isometric glute bridges, and this will be used to minimise pain at the injury site while also building that baseline strength. At the mid phase, we'll be using straight leg raises to build that muscular endurance with a high rep range. And during the late phase, where the hamstring should be patched up by now, we'll be using heavy deadlifts, and this exercise will increase the muscular endurance and also strength while advancing neuromuscular control and strength. For this plan, return to play will occur once no pain is experienced and full concentric and eccentric strength is established. Lie flat on your back on a yoga mat. Rest your arms by your side. Bring your feet into your glutes by bending your knees. Make sure your legs are hip width apart. Ensure you engage your core and glutes. This is to properly stabilise your body whilst ensuring the intended target muscle groups are working during the exercise. Once in this position, drive your hips upwards and hold this position for 2 to 3 seconds. Bring your hips back down to complete the rep. For this exercise, we'll be performing 3 sets, 6 reps each. Once you find yourself at a pain threshold of 4 or below, then you can progress this exercise by performing it single leg by doing 6 reps on each leg. Whilst lying down with your arms rested by your side, keep the legs straight and extend at the hip to raise the working leg to the limit of range of motion. This limit should be indicated by the pain threshold level of 4 or below. If you reach a pain level of above 4, then adjust the range of motion accordingly to best suit your needs. For this exercise, you'll complete 3 sets and 12 to 15 reps per side. This is to increase muscular endurance. A common error when performing this exercise is not keeping your legs straight. Make sure you keep your legs straight at all times. This will ensure that the intended target muscle will be working efficiently during the exercise. You want to ensure that your ankle is in dorsiflexion while performing this movement. This will apply the correct tension to the hamstring while performing this movement. To progress this exercise, get a light resistance band and place it over your foot. While lifting your leg up, pull onto your foot with the resistance band to increase the tension placed on the hamstring. When performing heavy deadlifts, make sure your feet are shoulder width apart, and as you go to grab the bar, make sure your hands are also shoulder width apart. key point to note, when bracing for the lift, make sure you push your chest out, which will simultaneously straighten out your back. This is necessary so you don't put too much strain on your back while performing this exercise. When performing a rep, make sure you're always looking up, and you want to be working at a level of 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the maximum effort. If you feel like you're working below a level of 8, progress by increasing the weight, and vice versa. If you feel like you're working above a level of 8, then decrease the weight to a suitable level. A handy tip for the deadlift exercise: when you're in the upward phase of the rep, drive your heels into the ground. This will help target the hamstrings and the glutes. Muscle conditioning is only one part of the rehabilitation process. To decrease the chances of re-injury, work on the range of motion, proprioception, sport-specific skills, and cardiovascular training alongside this rehab program for your best chance to get back to playing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the pitch soon.